the violent riots outside a police station in Karnataka in 2022. Police came under attack and hundreds were booked and arrested. It's been 2 years. The Karnataka government has now decided to drop the cases. You heard me right. They have decided to drop the cases. In what has sparked off a political firestorm, the Karnataka government has withdrawn an old case of rioting in the Hubbali police station. Some of the accused in this case included the AIMIM leader Mohammed Aarif and a few others, accused of leading a mob that attacked the police. Sources say the Law Department, Police Department and the Department of Prosecution had raised objections in this particular case because the government wanted to drop these cases. There was, in fact, an observation that was made by these departments. But the state government decided to overrule these objections and drop the cases. Listen in.
Congress party always puts vote bank interest above nation's interest and state's interest. And yet another evidence of this is when the Karnataka government has withdrawn the cases against MIM leaders who were charged with very serious sections. Even then the Karnataka government overruled that and has given a clean sheet and has withdrawn cases against MIM leaders just because DK Shivkumarji wants that. Congress is now becoming a new Muslim League party. It is no longer a party that represents the interests of all Indians. It only caters to one vote bank interest, which we have seen. Even that spokespersons have admitted that Congress party only gets the votes of Muslims.
कौन जनविरोधी आंदोलन किया है उसके ऊपर क्या एफआईआर हुआ है उसको केस को वापस लेना ऐसा हम नहीं बोलते जनविरोधी लेकिन जनता के लिए स्टूडेंट्स के लिए पानी के लिए इरिगेशन के लिए पॉवर्टी के लिए कौन आंदोलन करते उसके ऊपर एफआईआर क्यों करते ये हमारा प्रश्न है इसलिए ये गवर्नमेंट है टेररिस्ट को और करप्शन वालों को क्लीन चिट देने वाला गवर्नमेंट है ये हुबली के विषय में पुलिस के ऊपर क्या पत्थरबाजी हुआ था क्या वापस लिया वो एफआईआर को उसके बारे में हम हुबली में आंदोलन करेंगे
Now, here's a look at the grave charges on the accused who have now been allegedly let off by the government. On April 16, viewers, 2022, a mob gathered to protest against a derogatory social media post outside the Hubbali police station and eventually led to rioting. 4 policemen were injured in this incident. Criminal cases with attempt to murder, rioting and some other serious charges that were in fact put at that time have now been withdrawn against Aarif and 138 others. Let's now show you some of the charges which were in fact very, very serious. So charge was section 307, that is attempt to murder. This is extremely serious, and then you had charge which was of rioting under section 147. And just look at these visuals. They'll tell you how the situation was at that point in time back in the year 2022. Then the charge of under section 148 was also there, armed with deadly weapon. That was the thing. Then section 323, which is voluntarily causing hurt, and then section 333, voluntarily causing injury to public servant. Now this is very, very important, viewers. Here public servants were targeted, and yet here in 2024 the government of Karnataka has decided to withdraw this particular case. Then there were charges under section 353 also, which says deterring public servant from discharge of duty. Now these are some extremely serious charges. It also included charge under section 504, which says provoking breach of peace. Now, section 427 was also mentioned at that point in time, which is damage to public property. And viewers, now all of this was happening in 2022. There were serious charges as well. Then why has the Karnataka government suddenly decided to withdraw cases against the people who were allegedly responsible? This is now becoming a big issue. Let's now give you a look, viewers, at the timeline of the events. The attack took place in 2022, after which Deputy Chief Minister DK Shivkumar had written to the government requesting that the case should be dropped in 2023. And now, in 2024, finally, the case has been dropped. And let's now, tell you a little bit about the timeline of this particular case. And as I was mentioning earlier, the riots actually took place in 2022, April 16, to be precise, riots in front of Old Hubbali police station. And just look at these visuals. There was anger over communal social media post. There were some very, very serious charges as well. 4 policemen got injured, 12 FIRs were filed, and 158 people, viewers, were arrested at that point in time. And then in 2023, October 2023, Mr. D.K. Shivkumar, the Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka, writes to the government. And despite objections, remember, from very important departments, today this big decision has been taken. Now, in October 2023, Mr. D.K. Shivkumar had requested that the case against accused be dropped. Now, the question is why? What has led to this decision? And the state government drops cases against the accused in October 2024. Exactly 1 year after the request was made, the charges have been dropped, the case has been withdrawn. The question is, why has this been done? What is the rationale behind it? We are yet to hear from the government, but meanwhile, listen in to this reaction.
Sir, the government in the cabinet yesterday has decided to drop a case in Hubbali, sir, the rioting case.
That we will discuss on.
Had very serious charges, sir.
Correct. Today we are celebrating Vijayadashmi, Dasara. We will all other issues we will discuss tomorrow or day after tomorrow. Whenever we are free, please come. We will discuss. I don't want to discuss any political issues.
And my colleague Deepak Bopana is now joining us live for more on this story. Deepak, many, have the same question right now. What is the rationale behind this kind of a decision? We understand that a request was made by the Deputy Chief Minister, Mr. D.K. Shivkumar, last year around this time. But now what prompted this sudden withdrawal of cases against the people?
We've not got a clear-cut answer as of now from any of the cabinet ministers or the chief minister about the exact reason. But of course, periodically we've seen either under the BJP or under the Congress, the cabinet, goes through certain cases which they believe, were filed and shouldn't have been filed, or probably, those people who are involved in these cases should probably not be punished. And based on that, a cabinet subcommittee reviews these cases. That it is eventually, of course, sent to the Home Department, the Law Department, which will then give a consensus report, and overall it's for the cabinet to take a decision whether they want to withdraw it or not. It's happened under various governments. It's even happened, many cases were withdrawn even under the BJP. Now, the question that comes up here is, while of course 43 cases in total have been withdrawn, which includes against Congress leaders or BJP leaders, pro-Kannada activists, farmer activists and other organizations, this one particular case, especially of the Hubbali riots, becomes very important to note because it's a very serious case. You have the police station where in Hubbali, where over 150 people gathered. They started to shout slogans. Eventually, of course, there was rioting that happened, stone pelting that was happened. A police vehicle was torched. 4 policemen were injured. There was lathi charge that took place. Multiple people were arrested. Now, after that, we've seen, of course, a letter that was written by Mr. D.K. Shivkumar asking for this case to be dropped. Mr. Tanveer Seth, of course, had also written another letter for asking for another riots case to be dropped. So, after all of these requests that were made, eventually, of course, the Cabinet Subcommittee has reviewed this, and now they've taken a decision to withdraw it. The BJP is saying this is appeasement. They're saying this is such a serious crime. The other cases, them withdrawing, they're not going to really oppose because, if you're going to protest in the interest of citizens over legitimate issues, that is something that is called for. But here, torching a police station or a police vehicle, protesting there on the streets in the manner that they did, or stone pelting or rioting is not something that should be pardoned so easily, and Congress is doing it to appease particular communities. A charge from the BJP. The Congress, of course, at this point in time, primarily some of the people that we've spoken to say that they don't want to politicize it. They've gone through the entire process and they thought it was necessary to be done, and that's the reason they've actually done it. And such decisions are periodically taken from government to government.
And the fact, Deepak, that this had opposition from the law and the police departments. Despite the opposition, the government went ahead and has taken this particular decision. Clearly raises many, many questions. Deepak, request you to stay on with us. In fact,